Hey crafters! So before we get into today's Countdown to Christmas tutorial, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. The 200 subscribers giveaway was a success! We had 3 winners chosen, and in first place we had Teresa, who is going to be receiving this beautiful infinity scarf. In second place we had Kate, who chose this nice deep rich red hat. And in third place, Christine decided to go with the bright fun orange hat. So I'm so happy for my winners. I will be sending these to you very soon, and I hope you enjoy. But just wanted to say congratulations to Teresa, Kate, and Christine for winning the giveaway. And now let's go look at today's project. Alright, so let's start today's craft. I'm actually up here in the workshop barn today because for this project I'm going to be using the handy dandy heat gun. And if you watched my candy cane PVC pipe video, you probably recognize this. This is the same one, and if you want you can go back and watch that video to learn a little bit more about using the heat gun, and I'll put the link up below. Now, having said that I'm using the heat gun, you can do this project without a heat gun. You can use a hairdryer. Just I'm using the heat gun because it's going to go way faster. So I'm kind of glad that it's going to go fast because it is so cold right now. Like, it was snowing this morning. I'm so happy because it feels like Christmas finally. You know, my cold weather's finally here, and it was sleeting outside. So we're going to try to go really fast and let the heat gun speed things up for us. So what we're going to be doing today is this project calls for these clear glass ornaments. You may remember in my paint swirl ornament video that I told you that it would be a good idea to just start off and buy glass ornaments, and today is the reason why. We're going to be melting crayons inside of here with the heat gun, and we're going to test out and see if we can make some really cool patterns and things. So I'm going to be doing 2 different methods here. I've got 2 glass ornaments here, and the first time I'm going to use large crayon chunks, and the second time I'm going to be using some crayon flakes. Now to get these crayon flakes, I used a razor, obviously be very careful, and I just gently chipped away at the tip, kind of going downward almost, just to kind of get these crayon shadings. So we're going to see which way we like better and see if we can get some different results from using larger chunks or using the little flakes. So the first thing we want to do is we want to start by taking the top off the ornament. It's really simple, just pull it out, the little wire will bend, and I just set those off to the side. So now I'm going to fill my ornaments with the crayon pieces and the little flakes into this other ornament. Now when I filled my one with the little flakes, I kind of blew off the outside of the ornament with my breath, just really quick, so that way if there were any pieces on the outside, they don't melt on the outside and change the effect. And so now it's time to use the heat gun. If you're doing this with a hairdryer, you're going to have pretty much the same experience, just the crayons will melt a lot more slowly, so that might give you a little more control over designs, but it means you have to wait longer. But because I'm going to be using the heat gun, this is way harder than a hairdryer. So I've got 2 different tools here with me that I'm going to be using. First of all, I have a pair of welding gloves. I'm going to keep these on the entire time that I'm using the heat gun just for protection. So I'm going to try melting the first one while holding the ornament with the welding gloves, but if it gets too hot, I'm going to stop with this method, and I'll let you know again if it's too hot or how well the welding gloves hold up. But then my second method is going to be using a pair of just metal kitchen tongs. And so you might already be noticing this, but obviously the big struggle here is with the gloves, it'll be a lot easier to hold and maneuver the ornament, but with the tongs, I don't have to keep my hands as close. Obviously the disadvantage of the tongs is these are glass ornaments and it'll be really easy to drop them. So we're going to see how this goes. So I'm going to start with the tongs, a little bit tricky to use with the gloves, and I'm just going to hold my ornament. You'll also notice I'm doing it over a surface, that way if it does fall, it won't hopefully break. And now I'm going to turn my heat gun on. And I'm going to already start swirling my crayons. Oh, there you go, you can see them starting to melt. Go all different directions. The heat gun's working awesome. This looks really cool already. All the way to the other side here. Alright, so the tongs are actually working pretty well. The only tricky part is they're a little bit tricky to maneuver and change the angles. Alright, I'm going to shut this off. Alright, and actually what I'm going to do, because it got so hot, it really melted fast. So I'm going to swirl this around just with my fingers here, obviously with the gloves still on, and let this cool down, because if it melts too much, you can see that it gets really runny on some of these sides. So I'm going to try doing this on a lower setting and holding it further away. So I'm going to try something a little bit different with this one with the flakes here. You'll notice on this one that because it melted so fast, that it ended up turning just kind of all the colors blended together and it ended up being this darker color. So what I'm going to do with this one is melt it a lot slower. So I'll just melt it for a moment, take the heat away, and then I'm going to shake the little flakes around and we'll see if we can get some cool designs. Here we go, look at this cool design. It's really simple. I could have done more flakes to cover more of the surface, but I actually think this looks really cool with just the simple little dots of colors all around. And I think what I like about it is because the color is in such small chunks, you don't have the tendency where all the big chunks of crayons get stuck together and just melt all at the same time, because when that happens, you can see it turn this kind of dark greenish, not so pretty color. But this one was really fun with just a little bit of shaking. The little flakes, because they melted slightly sooner, they would kind of melt and stick to the sides, but then if you look on the inside, you can still see that really cool crayon shape, but from the outside it looks almost like paint splotches. So here's the two ornaments. I'm going to play around with this one a little more and see if I can figure out a way to repair it. But overall, I'm thinking I really like this version and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Alright, so here I am with my ornaments. A quick word. I put the tops back in, and you'll notice that I don't have my gloves on anymore. But when you touch your ornaments after they've been heated with the heat gun, you want to make sure they're cool because the ornaments were still really hot when I first tried putting the caps back on. So make sure you wait long enough so you don't burn yourself. So first off with the ones with the little flakes, if I want to, I could go back and fill in some more because you can see I didn't have enough of the shavings to get this side. But overall, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Now, as I said, I went back with this one and I played around and melted it a little more to see if I could get the color to work out better, but it pretty much stayed that same kind of weirdish green. So what I found, if you remember as I was melting, you see this clip here where there's lots of really bright, colorful streaks as it's starting to melt. I think that's where I should have stopped. I should have paused, taken the heat away, and then swirled that around and just melted it slowly a little bit at a time because the crayons melt crazy fast. So I hope that these tips help you and that you enjoy making some fun crayon Christmas ornaments. In my last moments here, I would like to give a big shout out to my dad because he helped me film this so we didn't have to lug the tripod and all the lighting stuff up into the workshop barn through the sleet, so I appreciate his help. But also it's kind of funny when he does help me because he always has like questions and these ideas, but I'm usually like one step ahead of him. So he was like asking, he was like, you know what, I bet if you had more of the crayon flakes in there, you would like get the side. See how like you didn't get that side? And I was like, yeah, Dad, that was going to be the next thing I was going to say. So anyway, shout out to Dad for helping me with this. Love you, Dad.